I'm recreating my original character from when I was 12, back when, you know, the original fucking Diablo 2 was out. And, yeah, I had like a lot of really bad OCD back then, so there's like a whole bunch of restrictions and shit that I've gotta kind of like play through, and it's great. It's been so fucking difficult, but the game's making it like harder for me because it keeps crashing. I get about 2 hours and 40 minutes in and then the game crashes. So particularly on Hell, that hasn't been great because like it's causing me to have to like refight areas. This is our third go of this area because it keeps crashing. But yeah, we're mostly tonight trying to clear out this, what is it, the abandon? We're trying to clear out the abandon with the view that we do have to clear out the Frigid Highlands, but if I don't have to clear out the abandon again, then I don't have to go down this dungeon, right? Which means that I should have enough time with 2 hours and 40 minutes. Hold on, Eliza's dead. God damn it. I'll have like enough time with 2 hours and 40 minutes to hopefully clear the Frigid Highlands and then get a waypoint, so then we can go from like the next waypoint. But we've been trying. The only problem is I've been leaving this to like the end each time, and then it crashes while we're down here, and I'm just testing if it's related to the time or if it's related to this area, because we also had an issue with the River of Flame, same kind of issue. So I keep going back into town and saying hello to Mala, because Mala lets me save my experience. So we're making a tiny bit of progress, because I also had one game where between the crashes I had like an exceptional amount of deaths in the last act, and I lost like the whole bar of my XP twice over. So I should be like a couple levels higher than I am, and I'm not. So I don't mind like redoing areas as long as I'm getting the XP, you know. Plus, like, I fucking love Diablo, so it's not like it's really that much of an issue.
Evening.
Hey, mate. But yeah, Eliza's like a good chunk of money. She's like 50 grand. So like, yeah, it takes a little bit. My PC just crashed. I wonder if that's because of the heat or if it's just Windows. Unfortunately with that, you'll never fucking know, because it could be the heat or it could be Windows. The real question is like, when was the last time you cleaned out your like air filters on it, air vents and stuff, and made sure that they're like dust free and stuff? Because like that kind of stuff matters when you get to summer and it's very hot. And I hear that there's like a lot of like heat wave going on overseas, so yeah. If it's like as hot as it generally is in Australia, I would say just make sure like it's not overheating and shit. Funk, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. What's that? Hi, everybody. Yeah, welcome in. She cleaned it 3 days ago. Okay, well then it shouldn't be that then. It should just probably be Windows. If it's that. Like, I don't know, it could be anything, but like, it could also be like it hit a specific temperature and then turned off, because like, computers will also do that too. Yeah, what are you up to, Funk? Welcome in. I guess there's a couple more up here I couldn't see. There they are. I can't really, I want to put a decoy in front of me, but I don't know if I can. Okay, let's stand behind that instead. I kind of don't want to stand like directly in front of it, you know. There is indeed a heat wave overseas. In the UK, it's particularly melting us here. Yeah, I've heard of, I don't know 100% because I've been asleep for like at least the last 2 days, but I do know that the heat wave was like about 30 something degrees or something like that. And like, I'm in Australia for anybody that doesn't know, so our kind of like summer heat is generally like in the 40s and stuff. So like, this is why I bitch so much when it gets cold. Like, mind you, at the moment we're in a cold snap, so it is like particularly too cold for me, and I don't, like, all my warm clothes are in the wash because I've worn them. I have like a very limited amount of clothes. This is what I was saying earlier. It's like, that's my biggest bitch at the moment. But yeah, I do know that generally when it's really cold here, it's really hot overseas. And likewise, when it's really cold overseas, it's really hot here. So I normally like try to base this on that. So I kind of like keep aware. I think you're maybe my last person I have to fight in here, and then there's the box, which would be so great. Also, welcome in, Tarantula. How you been? Well, I was watching Kano and noticed your channel. They recommended, so I never noticed it before. I thought, let's check it out. Oh yeah, nice. I'm normally playing this on Thursdays. I play like a selection of games every week, kind of thing. But yeah, I'm doing a specific playthrough with Diablo II Resurrected at the moment. I kind of want to get back out of here. Although, well, don't you crash on me. What I'm thinking I might do is, I know that we've got the portal all the way up where we do, but if I go back to town and I come out where the waypoint is, I can squiggle through the Frigid Highlands like I was doing, because this is now complete, so I don't have to come back down this bullshit again. Okay, so if the game crashes, right? Hello. If the game happens to crash and I have to clear the Frigid Highlands again, I don't have to clear that particular dungeon. So, yay. It only took us 3 weeks. By the way, like, I've been on like reduced streaming hours and stuff like that because I got sick
Can I help you?
in May, and it took me all of June to basically recover. So, yeah, I've been on like 3 hours instead of 4, and 4 days a week instead of 5. So, it doesn't help when like certain section of this needs like 4 hours to clear an area. This should be better because like I've got the whole map for up here, but I've just skittled along this little section here up to that. Right, so this bottom line here should be clear. So I'm gonna have to zigzag all the way through this again and clear out everybody. Pick up everything, sell everything. So we can finally get on with our fucking lives with this game. It's great. Oh man. But yeah, no, I fucking love Diablo 2. So like having to like redo certain areas doesn't really like bother me as much as like I worry for like people that have to watch and don't want to like watch the same area over and over again. Mind you, it's Diablo 2, so that doesn't really apply as much as some other games. But yeah, I care. This is gonna sound really dumb, but it gets cold and dry. It does, but it doesn't get to the point of, well, I was gonna say it doesn't get to the point of snowing where I am, but it is like a tropical like climate here sort of thing. So summer is really, really hot, humid. It's really like can be dangerously bad. Like elderly and sick and stuff can generally like, you know, pass away and stuff in the temperature. I am one of the people that come under the category of sick. So for me, when we had the summer where the air conditioners went out, I was really, really sick. And like I was medically advised to like not exercise, medically advised to like not do my like regular 6 monthly tests and shit. I had to wait extra time to recover from summer and stuff for it. So yeah, it can be bad, but our winters are not quite as severe because of it, but they are still bad to us because we're used to such warmer weather. Our houses are also not properly insulated. So when it's cold, it's often colder inside the house than it is outside of the house. And there's really nothing you can do to warm the house. You can put heaters on, you can wear jumpers and stuff like that. But in reality, what ends up happening is the heat just seeps through the windows and ends up like disappearing from your house anyway. And the cold seeps in anyway. So that's why I was saying earlier, I was trying to heat up the house. My partner didn't know, and he ended up coming home and opening a window for fresh air, and he didn't know I don't have any warm clothes for tonight. So yeah, that really sucked because it cooled the house right back down. I spent like most of the day trying to heat it up, which also would have used like a significant chunk of electricity and stuff, which really sucks. Heat wave overseas in the UK is practically melting us. Yeah, it kind of would be though. We're also going to get an ad in just a second, just to let you know. No, I saw that. Good old hemispheres. Yeah. It's sometimes like that though, because like if you're not aware of like the fact that the temperatures reverse and stuff, like we get Christmas is summer for us. So like no rugging up in like fancy pretty clothes and stuff like that, and no fireplaces, crap like that. Like we're all like dying in the heat, trying to like seek a water source and air conditioning and stuff in summer, you know. I'm doing alright, I feel like. How are you? I'm alright. I've been real tired. Not really because of the 10-hour Rim Connect stream last week, but just in general tired. Like the cold snaps me pretty bad, drains my energy and stuff. So at the moment I've got like some energy drinks to try to combat like the lack of energy that I have. It doesn't fully work because it does cool me down internally, which is a problem of itself. God, this is a big group. Hold on, let me put Valkyrie up in the thick of it. There we go. I don't want to be cornered here. I'm getting cornered. Hold on. Hey, Snipe. What the fuck are you? I need to run away from that group because that was going to be a danger noodle pile. I don't know where Valkyrie went. She's somewhere. Mate, get out of my face. There we go. Alright. There is like a slasher or whatever in here, so it's kind of like flasher, not slasher. Oh my god. Are you ready for work? How about you? I'm alright. I'm generally bitching about the cold, all that. You came in time for an ad, by the way, Snipe. Snipe has like this uncanny ability to like arrive just in time for an ad and gets them every fucking time. I literally just threw up the warning like right before you walked in. Snipe. You really can't like catch a fucking break. The worst part about that is I snoozed an ad for 5 minutes. If I had run it before, you wouldn't have got it. I'm sorry about that, Snipe. Just sort of fucking got it. Look, it just knows when you're gonna be here, okay? It's fine. It just depends on what you consider cold, same as anywhere else. Yeah, well that's the thing is, like, I normally find that like most people that have to deal with negative 30, negative 40 and stuff like that will be like, oh, you're like negative up to like, I don't know, 5 degrees or something like that is like bullshit and stuff. It's not cold and stuff, but it is because like we don't have like proper thermal clothes. We don't have like insulated houses. You know, we don't generally have the kind of like warm bedding. We don't have like warm jackets. Like not equipped for this kind of thing. Like one of my cousins has lived in New Zealand for a time, and she's got all the right kind of gear to deal with winter because she's had to deal with actual snow. So when it gets like really cold here, she's quite cozy and stuff, but the rest of us are absolutely freezing. Like we mostly just stack up in layers, but our layers aren't warm to begin with. They're not wind fast either. At the moment, part of the cold snap that we've got is wind. It's just unrelenting breeze coming up from the Arctic and stuff, and it's really fucking cold. But it also is just like constantly like blowing a gale through our house and stuff, and it literally does do that. Like you can hear it blow through like the inner walls of the house, and you know, fuck around with like the manhole lifting that up and stuff like that, and like the ceiling and shit. And because there's no insulation to kind of like stop it from doing that and then keep the actual house warm. It's literally just like there's a brick outer layer on most Australian houses, and then there's like the plywood shit on the inside. Like there's a hollow wooden frame, and then there's like the plywood walls and crap. Right, so that's all we normally have. I've said this before, if I was ever gonna build another house, I would fucking make one of insulation everywhere. It would cost an absolute arm and a leg here because it's just like, it's not a common material in houses, so it is very costly. But fucking hell, I think it would be so worth it. It would keep a house warm when you warm it up. It would cool it down and, well, keep it cool if you're cooling your house down in summer and stuff like that. Like, it would make it so much better. If you guys can just fight the demons and stuff coming out this, I'll fight this. It's saying it's badass to see more people streaming Diablo II Resurrected. This community keeps getting better and better. Nice. Yeah, no, I've been a major fan of Diablo 2 since I was 12, back in like 2000 and shit. And I played it for like a good 20 odd years. And then I got resurrected, and I really wanted to make like, I wanted to make a special character I cared about. Because, like, you can make all kinds of, like, Diamond Dozen characters that are, like, decent and shit, but I'm like, what would actually matter to me? What would I give a shit to play and continue to play and stuff like that? And I'm like, my original character, you know, the character I had really bad OCD on. So, like, her stats are purposely terrible. Because of her stats, she can't wear, like, certain gear. She can't use certain equipment. I am limited to a bow as a main weapon. And, like, her offhand can be anything, but it can't be a crossbow. Can never be a crossbow, can't have a crossbow. Like, we got a really good one from Baal in Nightmare, and I had to immediately just throw it straight in, like, the trader bin. And I hated that because I really needed it. It did, like, 100 to 200 damage, and my bow at the time was doing, like, what, 11 to 70 odd or some shit? And my helper, my original helper, has to go through the entire game with me. And she can only have my hand-me-downs of my weapon and armor and stuff. So when I can finally upgrade my bullshit armor, she can have that armor. Which, you know, she could have, like, good armor, but she's not allowed it. My skill tree is kind of fucked too because of the OCD thing. Yeah, it's been so great. Plus, also, I've got to get all the map. I've got to kill all the creatures, pick up all the loot, sell all the loot. Yeah. It's been so fun, especially since, like, I can't progress into another area. This is part of what the problem with this area is at the moment with the crashes, is I can't progress into a new area until I've cleared out all of the previous area and then got the waypoint for the new area. Once I've got the waypoint for the new area, I can start from that waypoint and go forwards. But until then, I have to keep pushing through and reclearing. Also with money, as you can see here, I am accumulating, once that is at 820,000, and this is full, then I can gamble again to try to get a better bow. And currently this is my bow, right? So it does 11 to 117. I'm in hell, by the way. It does 11 to 117. I have to find something that's equal or better to swap it out with that I can actually use, because you might be like, oh, you can get a much better bow than that. No. I got limitations on this. So my, like, base value of, like, strength and dexterity is like 125. So when I remove a few items, like, that bow might be buffing me in these things. I know it's not, but it could be buffing me and stuff. And when I remove it, it might make it that I can't use it. Like, I can't use a replacement and shit. So I gotta be careful with that, because I took a spear off at one point and I couldn't put it back on because I think it was my boots I changed. I got new boots, and the new boots don't have whatever the point is to allow me to have the spear. But it didn't matter because I had, like, a decent axe to change over to in the future, so it was all fine. But yeah, it's been so fucking great. Like, apart from, like, the occasional crashes making it really difficult, it has been, like, legitimately great fun. Because, like, I don't know. I've just got, like, all this tedious crap, you know? And I still enjoy it. Plus, like, once I finish her, I'll showcase off my other characters and stuff that I imported from the original Diablo. Because I don't have any others. She's my only one in Resurrected, but I imported my originals. And then we'll recreate my other, my second character, Tabby Cat. Because I always remake Kelly first, and then I remake Tabby Cat for Diablos, you know. I also forgot to buy arrows then, so that's on me. I gotta go cook something real quick. I'll be back in like an hour and a half. Yeah, there's so many questions and things I want to talk to you about, but not the best time at the moment. That's okay. Look, I will probably maybe be here in like an hour and a half's time, give or take. Like, what is it now? It's 11:30, and I'll be streaming till 1. Depends on if this crashes. Because if it crashes at like 12, I'm not going to have enough time to reclear this whole area in like 1 hour. So, like, I've just been kind of like working on that. Mate, you're going to get me dead. Please play with the fucking decoy. Or the Valkyrie. One of the two. You know what? Come here. Fuck off, mate. Yeah, go hit something else. Also, there was another thing too we had to do was I had to freeze my enemies at one point because when they respawn, you know, the ones that get resurrected by like the shamans and shit. Oh my god. The only way I could get rid of my enemies was to freeze them with my offhand weapon, and that took a bit. I'm gonna have to go back and buy arrows because I fucked up with that. But that's okay. It'll save me some XP. I'm gonna go back to cleaning. Took it too easy this morning. No worries. At least you've had time for your breakfast and stuff to digest before like getting into some cleaning and stuff, so no stomach cramping on that. But yeah, it was nice chitty chatting, it always is. I'll be here. I'll be here until roughly the game crashes. Then we'll be back tomorrow with Project Zomboid, so there'll be that. And also next Monday I'll probably be giving 7 Days to Die version, was it Alpha 19 a crack and stuff like I said, so yeah, there's that to look forward to. It's me running around like a goose playing around with the old settings and shit. That'd be fun. For anybody that doesn't know, like 7 Days to Die released like a new version 2.0 and I don't want to play it, and I don't like, if a game like tries to force me to play it in a certain way, I just won't fucking play it, and that's how I feel about 7 Days at the moment. So I'm literally just not playing the current version, and I'm going back and trying the previous alphas and just like seeing what I think of them, you know? See if like there's, because there are ones that I've played that I enjoy, but I just want to settle on playing one for like a half a year or something like that, so I can just like enjoy playing the game instead of like, I don't know, playing something I don't enjoy because it's the latest version and stuff. As I said, like as a streamer, there is like a little bit of pressure to kind of like play like the latest versions and do the latest things and stuff like that. But if I don't like it, I'm not gonna like it, and then you guys gotta listen to me bitch non-stop. So we already did that with Diablo 2. No, sorry, not Diablo 2. We came back to Diablo 2 because I did that in fucking Diablo 4. There we go. My brain's working right there. I complained like non-stop through Diablo 4. That's why we're playing this, especially when it started being like, oh, you have to start fighting Uber Liliths and like specking out a build. I'm like, no, fuck you, Diablo 4. I'll go back and play Diablo 2 and make my own shitified character. I feel like that's a combination of like Bender and Rick, you know, sentences right there. Is like, no, fuck me, no, fuck you. And then like I'll make my own with like hookers and blackjack and shit, you know, like the better kind of game. I haven't hit an ad, so I think we're in the clear. Did you ever check it? Yeah, I did. I did look at it. I remembered after the fucking 10-hour Room Connect stream snipe. I remembered then, of all the fucking times I could have remembered to go and have a look at it, I remembered then. I saw what you meant by like Hellslave kind of looked like a Diablo 2 thing, but it definitely didn't seem to like run like one. But yeah, it was one of those like, I think it looks like a neat game, but not for me kind of thing, which is fine. There's a lot of games that are not my jam, but like look similar or have like a similar-esque feel to like Diablo and stuff. But yeah, I did eventually like check it out because like I think you came in and asked about it during that again, and I'd marked it, and because I was going through, I'm still going through my Rim Connect, you know, the 10 hour that turned into 12 hours. Yeah, anyway, I'm still going through that stream, flipping it and stuff at the moment, so I'm finding all of my markers and I'm finding all my clipped sections, and that was one of them that I came across, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I gotta go look that up. So that was cool. Also heads up with this, I can't use like rune words and shit too. That's usually one that like is a big like, I don't know, it sets people off, something fierce. I can't use rune words and stuff because when I was 12 I didn't know about them and stuff, and you didn't just have like a fucking, I mean, you had kind of forums, but I was a fucking 12-year-old. I wasn't trolling the forums at 12. That was like a year or two later. And yeah, so like my first playthrough and stuff, I can't make rune words and stuff. So everything I do put on a socketed weapon and shit has to just be like whatever I think is going to be useful for her, but like not specifically making something out of it. Stuff like I can kind of like use maybe 1 or 2 runes, and I can use like a few jewels or gems or whatever the fuck in them. But yeah, no purposeful fucking rune words. If I accidentally fucking make one, that's on me. That's my fuck up. It's more of like, there's a lot of them. So there's always a chance I'll fuck up and make something, but I don't put enough runes into anything anyway, so I don't really have to worry. Back off out of the poison. I also have a timer running in the background to keep track of how we're doing with this. So when it does crash, I'll hopefully know how long we had. Okay, there is a guy over there. We'll come back down here in a moment. I'm pretty well poisoned too. Let me stand back a bit. Hold on, mate, come here. Let me swap over my weapon for a second. Also, the other thing too with my offhand weapon, for the most part, I do have to use my bow, and I do have to use my immolation arrow, unless I think I can get a hit on my enemy and potentially take a hit without like one-shot dying as well, because she's pretty well fucking weak to damage. Oh, there's a special in here. That's what's going on. I was gonna say, I'm like, somebody is ripping through my health. I'm trying to fight it. There's somebody in here. Where are you? Because you got lightning on you. I don't think you're up in the tower. There you are. Okay, you pitch shield the dead. Demon stone skin. Fuck that lightning. Fucking hell. No. Do not stand in front of me, mate. Extra strong. Where did you go? Lightning enchant. No shit. Immune to fire, immune to lightning. The other thing too is a lot of things in hell are immune to fire, and I do have to use fire, which can result in some extremely slow battles. Oh man, my health. But yeah, no, I have like, anybody has watched me play Never knows I have the patience. Snipe has bared witness to that, and so has Keelan. Basically, like, there's a good chunk of like my community that has like some kind of PTSD from watching me play like a section of a game that's supposed to take like 1 to 2 minutes at the most, and I spent 7 hours running it. Because it took me 7 hours to fucking complete it. And yeah, I wasn't willing to like skip and like bypass it. So yeah, all 7 hours of that are on YouTube, by the way. If you guys ever want to see 7 hours of the same like 1.5 minute clip, I'm sure you could probably get the gist of it after like 1.5 minutes. Why must you uncover this PTSD? I know, Snipe. The worst part is like, all I normally have to do is mention the Never Tree. Wakes up eyes wide tree. I was gonna say, I'm like, I feel like Vikin's got the most PTSD out of all of us for that, because it was like, you know, Wolf game and like, yeah. Wolf game, and like, I know Viking really wanted me to play that and stuff. And yeah, then I ended up spending 7 hours on this section. I was kind of thinking that you were asleep and weren't going to get like hit with that Viking, but I'm sorry about that. Oh man, my face hurts from smiling though, because it is pretty funny. I remember like Viking was there, and he was there for like a while, and then I'm pretty sure he fell asleep, and then he woke back up like later. It was like, I don't know, it was like a couple of hours later, woke back up, and I was still in the same section, and then I think like he was horrified about it, and then like came back a little while later. Like I think he like wandered off to get help, and like came back, and I was still in the same section, and then we started up the next stream with it. It was still in the same section, and yeah, I've got pretty good patience and like persistence for most things like that. The electricity that's raining down on me, I'm not cool with, because that's gonna hurt when it eventually hits me. Is that nods? Yeah, I know, Viking. That's alright, the Never Tree can't hurt you. It's, I was gonna say it's not real, but that would be a lie. Oh man. By the way, we don't have the tree emote for that, by the way. We have a tree emote because I keep running into trees on like every game that I could drive a car. It's just like how I like move around in games like that, and it just happened to apply to the Never Tree and stuff, you know. So yeah. This is you're in Act 5, you're playing the expansion. runes in the expansion. There are runes in the expansion, and there always were. But, so when I was like 12, the biggest thing was that, you know how like you get into Act 5 and it says it like through normal Nightmare and Hell, it says how like you can make words out of the runes and like they do certain things and your cube and stuff can do certain things and stuff. So like my brother and I, we like played around like a good amount of those. But as kids, we didn't really like figure out the rune words. Oh god, let me move back. Like I was 12, my brother was like a couple of years older than me. Like we didn't like figure it out. The other thing too was this is pre the era where you could just kind of like Google something and just look up anything and like make something to like work. Like I had to hope that somebody in my area was playing Diablo 2 and was willing to take out like an excerpt in like the local newspaper to mention like cheats and codes and oh god, cheats and codes, and I need you guys to like take a hit at me. There we go. Okay, so you got further enough from whatever is charging you up. Somebody over there is charging them up heavily. And like, you know, the things that you could do in certain games that weren't like immediately obvious and stuff. We had like this massive binder full of all these kind of like things that somebody had put in local newspaper that kind of like told you about stuff, Easter eggs and stuff in games. Like if you didn't come across it yourself from like walking up against a wall for like 5 minutes through like a section, like you could at least like read the newspaper and get that kind of thing. But I come from that era and stuff, so it wasn't just so readily available to know and make stuff. I don't want a key, I wanted this thing. Because I can walk over to Kane, but I don't feel like walking down there just at the moment. Oh man. I'll tell you what, like my like upper stomach kind of hurts from laughing from that, honestly, Viking. Once I can happily yawning, rubs eyes, of course. It's alright, Viking, you go back to sleep. Just no more nightmares about the Never Tree. God, that shit's funny though. It's never not funny whenever I bring it up. And like everybody that was witness to it is just mortified. Like, I must admit, as much as it was like relatively traumatic, let me take a foot jumper. It was relatively traumatic at the time to go through that, especially since like I don't see who's here and I never see numbers and I never know who's here unless somebody chats and stuff. So I just felt like after a while, probably after 3 hours of it, I just felt like I was alone and like having to deal with this tree like over and over and over again in the void, and it was like such a horrible feeling. I have some of my drink bottle. But yeah, I had a few people lurk back in. I had Viking come and like sit with me for like half an hour and stuff through some of it before like dozing off and stuff, and it meant a lot to me that, you know, especially like Viking and other members of my community came back in and like was with me through that, because my god, it was something. It's something I'm never going to forget in my history of gaming. I don't think anybody that was witness to it probably won't forget it. Alright, I think I got all my arrows and shit. This stays a side wagon to happily snuggling both wolf flushes. No, and give you all some pats. So I fight